Hi. Thank you for joining. Today, we are yet another live session I'm doing. Welcome to my channel, Growth Mindset channel. My dear friends, family members, and those who are watching from wherever you are. Today, we are again in our live session. And we just celebrated Father's Day just a couple of days ago. I think we are still in the celebrative mood. Fathers must be celebrated. Those who do not have fathers, they know the value of fathers. The role of a father is so important in the upbringing and making of a family. Today's title, if you have seen, I put there as "Don't Mess with Dad." So all my friends ask me, why don't mess with dad? What dad that bad is it? Normally, dads are seen as the disciplinarian. A person is very strict in the family. The mother does all the household chores and all these things, and then the father always instill discipline in the family and make sure the family is run smoothly. So this is all it's all about. So today I'm going to invite two parents. I'm going to see whether they are really a disciplinarian parent, a father, or what. No, because we're still celebrating the Father's Day. Two individuals. Before that, I'm sharing this content on the Growth Mindset page. I'm also sharing this running the stream in Jake and my own page, and also several other pages. Some of my staff and friends and all that would have shared in several other pages. Kindly share to as many pages as possible. So because the value that I'm going to bring is this information can be very helpful for those who are watching, because it's all about parents and father's role in children upbringing. Okay, two gentlemen here. We have first one is a trainer by profession. Is a professional trainer, and lately has been very active in coaching and corporate training and all that. He's a very dear friend of mine. Got to know him last year, and I thought it'd be nice if I can bring him and try to learn something from him. He looks very serious. If you look at him, I think this title will suit him very well. But let's find out. A person, you cannot judge a person from outside. Let me bring Dr. Jack. Okay. I just brought Dr. Jack.
Hello.
Dr. Jagdeep Jassel. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so
I
much.
agree with you. I do look very strict.
So the title very much suits
me, right?
The looks, okay, not the real person, okay, the looks. Okay. Okay, sir. So I'm going to invite another friend of ours. Now, this gentleman is still young, very committed father. At times, I envy him. I know him many years. I envy him how this man can be so, so much of patience he have in dealing with his kids, which I did not have. So I'm here to learn so much from him today. He's a project manager actually and he has two children. I want him to. Both of you will share about your children later. Let me bring him also. Sundar, please unmute and say hi.
Hi, good evening to Mr. Kannan, Dr. Jagdeep, all the audience following us today for this session. Actually, it's an honor for me to share this space with two professional speakers. Okay, I'm here to share a little bit of my experience or journey being a dad for two kids. So it's also a learning platform for me. So let's see how it goes. This session is going to be a bit casual. It's not so formal.
It's not an interview, so no need to worry.
Yes.
Although we have a professional there next to you, I'm also quite intimidated looking at him because he looks like that. His look is like that. His voice also very, very harsh voice and all that. But I'm here to learn a lot from him. Yes, doctor, just share with us what's going on in your life now. Tell us a bit about your family and all that.
All right. Good evening. I was like delighted when you first mentioned to me that please join in for this FB Live, and I was a bit reluctant also to say no in the first stage because my background may not be something that is so easy and free flow to discuss in public. So before that, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jagdeep. You can call me Jack, but my designation for tonight is just Daddy. And I just want to be known as Daddy today. So all my other professional titles and so on, I think they can just rest for a while. I also shared the link with my boys. I hope they are here. I'm not sure if they are here, then they will be able to attest that whatever I'm saying is true or not. It's always good to have a check and balance. Okay. And Daddy is something that I always wanted to become. I think probably I wanted to emulate my own father. I thought my father was a great dad. And when someone asked me when I was young, what do you want to be when you grow up? My instant answer was to be a dad. Right? Instead of anything else was to be a dad. So it's because for me, my Superman, my Spider-Man was all my father. So and I always felt that if there's something I want to do in life was to be a dad. So I'm going to share a story which is 10 years old. All right. So anything before 10 years ago, I don't think it's right for me to mention because my ex-wife and I, we went through a divorce on the 7th of April in 2010. So that's almost more than 10 years ago. So it's only fair that she should be around me if I'm going to say anything about us. So if just me alone, I don't think it's fair for me to mention anything. But I'm going to share what happened after we got separated. And because until today, she's still a darling mommy for my kids. So I have to respect that as well. So when we separated, we went our own ways, but we decided that the boys will stay with me. So this journey is about me and my boys growing up together. So in the initial stage, of course, it was also something new from me. Me and the boys, we used to stay or sleep in the same room. Right? We used to share the same room. Of course, they would sleep on the king size bed, and I would sleep on the floor. And they were about 8 years old, 9 years old then. They were quite young. Right? Today they are 19, 20 years old. And to them, I think probably they were very, they felt safe if Daddy was around with them. In the same room, even though he's sleeping on the floor. Because I think probably they will also say that, don't mess with Dad. So if there's anybody who's going to come in the house, they have to mess with Dad first before they can become. So that was the initial stage of logistics that we were getting used to. And then I was also at that point, in 2010, I was also in the midst of doing my doctorate. And I used to travel to UK quite often, right? And also for my data collection in Malaysia, because my research was based in Malaysia. So I can recall me and the boys traveling, because my study was a qualitative study. So instead of distributing questionnaires, I needed to talk to my respondent and have face-to-face interviews. For that, I need to travel to collect my data. And the boys used to follow me if they were somewhere nearby within the Klang Valley. They would wait at the lobby of the hotel, and they will do their homework, their Kumon homework, and so on, while I go to meet any of the respondents to get the interviews done. And once we even traveled to Langkawi, right, all the way just to collect some data, because my research was on the hospitality industry, so I needed to speak to general managers of hotels. So once we even drove to Langkawi, and we had so in one way or another, they got to travel with me while I was trying to balance between work and life. And probably the present was, I promised them that when I graduate, I will take them to UK for my graduation. So that was another beautiful trip we enjoyed. We had a holiday in Scotland and England just to celebrate my graduation in 2012, a few years later.
Oh, so lucky boys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also lucky in the sense they motivated me to reach a milestone in my life. And since we were talking earlier, Mr. Kanin, and I was lucky that I still had a lot of support around me. My brother was also a very strong pillar in my life, and my sister-in-law. So whenever we needed any kind of support, there was family around us. Though it was like a shock for the family. Of course, this was like a first divorce in the family, but everybody respected each other's space, and they also provided whatever kind of help they could give. But maybe as a single parent at that point, for me, was more on the financial aspect, because I needed to ensure that every single bill was paid, and I was the only sole provider then. So, and I also had intended to send them to good school, so they studied in private school. So I had to work extra hard. I needed to work on weekends to do part-time teaching wherever I could do, just to make sure that I could sustain that kind of lifestyle and also education for them. And along the way, I think I've never imposed, while I'm a dad that they shouldn't mess around with, but I've never ever imposed on them what they should study, what field they should pursue. They were very free to do whatever they wanted to do. I never told them they have to do law or medicine and so on. But deep down, I think I'm still quite strict. I think I am a disciplinarian, also because my father was in the army. So we went through that kind of regimental lifestyle. And but I've never ever physically abused my kids. If they're around, they can tell you. I've never. They can probably even tell you they don't even know what a slap is like because I never even hit them in my life. I think my voice and my facial expression and my eyes was enough for them to be scared if I needed this. Yeah. So I still get feedback from my friends and my relatives until today. They say that the boys are really, well brought up. They're very disciplined. And to me, I'm just lucky to be gifted with these angels. And maybe a little bit more before I pass it on to Sundar. I think one of the ways that I also found to be connected to both boys is that I actually got hooked to their hobbies. Right, so the older boy is very much into movies. So I make sure that I watch every single movie with him in the cinema. So whatever movies that he wanted to watch, I'll get the tickets, and we used to go to the cinema and watch whether animation, English movies, Hindi movies. Vividly, both of us used to go together with the younger one. But I wanted him to know that I was connected with him because we shared common interests. And the younger one is an avid football lover, and I should get up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning just to watch matches with him. So that a kind of connection. So I think it is one thing that I want to share is that, as parents, we need to invest time, regardless whether it's a single or whether it is a full family. Things happen for a reason. We should never blame circumstances, but we still need to invest time in our children. And I'm glad to say that both my boys are my best friends. Even the older one these days is dating, right? And he introduced his girlfriends to me. We even go out for double dates sometimes. And that's why he's so comfortable to share with me things that, probably a teenager or a young adult would only share with his friends. So in that sense that I think I was just born to be the father, and I thank God for this experience growing up with them. I always say that I grew up with them, not they grew up with me.
Well, that was a very lengthy introduction about yourself. I think almost the whole package of your life is already out.
Yeah. I wanted to summarize it here.
Yeah. It's okay. We will revisit those, those points and all that you mentioned just now. Okay. What about this? You tell me about your family, Sundar. Where are you now, and what's happening in your life? How many children? What are their ages? How's your connection with them?
Okay. Just now, I think the introduction already mentioned that I work as a project manager. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in engineering, and now I'm doing project management. As for the family, for me, parenting by definition is the way that you bring up a child. It's not an art, but it's a passion. For me, it's a passion to be a father. I'm emotionally attached to my kids. I have 2 beautiful kids, a 14-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. Both were born through a C-section, actually. So it was not an easy journey for us to bring them up, especially when my wife had a cesarean. So I had to, at one point when they were born, I had to take care of the mother as well as the kids. And I started my full-time duty as a father since then, when my first daughter was born in 2007, and it goes on until now. Okay, so today's the title of today's topic is "Don't Mess with Dad," right? So for me, it's not when Mr. Kannan gave the title "Don't mess with the dad." It doesn't mean that dads person who are very fear person. It can also mean they can be also emotional, and they can also take up a role of a mother, and they can also be gentle. So don't mess with dads. That's my intro.
How gentle is gentle? We will go into that gentleness of you.
Yes.
There was a statement earlier. Okay, Sundar, my nephew. I'm taking the comments here. Sundar, my nephew, is a super dad who does everything for them.
Wow.
Okay, that's from Auntie Malati. Okay, and then earlier there was one comment by Gauri. I thought that don't mess with dad means don't mess with the house like your dad, or don't mess the house like your dad. Oh, this is bad. Okay, this is telling that the dad is messing the house. Okay, all right. Now coming to this, you have one daughter and you have a son. The gap is like
Yes.
6 years, 7 years.
7 years.
Okay, tell me your emotional connection with your daughter.
Already in 7 months.
Okay, tell me about the emotional
With my
connection
daughter,
with
okay.
your daughter. Yeah.
both of us were very much connected because she was the only child until she was going to standard 1. So my entire attention was to her. When she was baby, even when she started walking, I used to carry her everywhere. I don't let her to walk. People used to ask me, why you want to carry her? Please let her to walk by herself. But I felt like, she's like a gift to me from God. So it's my responsibility to take very good care of her. So I practically did everything to both my kids since they were baby. I had to wake up in the middle of the night to mix milk, feed them, sing lullaby, to make them sleep, bathe them, dress them up. And I started carrying a backpack, the baby backpack, when my daughter was a child. And I do that until now, until my son is 7 years old. I still carry my backpack when I go out to put their things there, to put their water bottle and bring their food, So it's a never-ending thing for me. But it's a good experience. I'm enjoying it.
That's a very high standard of fatherhood, no? Nobody can ever get closer to that. Okay? I want to ask you: isn't that like overprotective with your daughter? Are you being overprotective? Is anyone ever mentioned that you're being overprotective? Is your daughter feeling that you're being overprotective? There might be parents out there, fathers, So let's share your feelings.
When you are talking about overprotective, yes, people did mention that to me before, but I don't feel it's like being overprotective. In fact, my daughter never complains so far. She's enjoying it, When she enjoys it, why should I be worried? She's the most important person for me. When she doesn't complain about why are you being overprotective, so it's nothing for me to worry, and I just carry on with my duties.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so she's still enjoying the attention from father, right? It's very difficult to look after a girl because you're bonding. There's a message. Let me take the hello, daddy. Proud of your journey in parenting, Subhatra Ramanaidu. Can you all read that comments? You can read. So if you're on a mobile, maybe it'll be too small. Okay, coming back to this, because the connection with boys and girls are not same. Maybe Dr. Jack, maybe you can share. I think
I agree. I agree with you. I think probably if I had a daughter, then the entire story would have been different. I doubt, I would have been be able to. Confidently, someone would have just allowed me to go ahead and take care of 2 kids if they were not, both males. So, and I don't have experience in actually raising a daughter, but I can understand what Sundar is saying. If I had a daughter, probably I would be even as protective or more protective than you, Sundar. When given the situation today, the level of security and safety that we need to instill. So probably I was a little bit lax, and I was also a little bit lucky in the sense that they were both boys. But I respect parents who have to raise a daughter or even daughters. I think it's not easy, and the anxiety is, I think, definitely natural.
Yeah. So because both of you have a different kind of background, that's why it's very interesting. One with 2 boys and both teenagers, and he got 1 teenage, only 14. She is very much adolescent now. The other one is still very much younger, 7 years gap. There's a lot of different parenting styles. No, there is, when coming to, we are talking about discipline and all that. Just now, let's say disciplining. I always had this problem: how to balance love and discipline. So you need to care, you need to provide the love and the attention to them and all that. But at the same time, you need to make sure that they their discipline is taken care. How do you manage that, Sundar? Who has this? You or your wife? How do you balance this?
If you're asking about balancing between husband and wife, I think my wife is more to a practical person, and I'm more to emotional. So I'm generally closer to my kids. I pamper them a lot. I take care of them. But when it comes to discipline, I still instill discipline on them. especially when teaching them studies and all, right? So I can be gentle, at the same time I can be strict also to a certain level, but I don't go over the board, I know my limit. And sometimes when you talk about disciplining your child, it doesn't mean that you have to smack your child. You can also advise them, you can also talk to them. I can make my kids cry by listening to me talking, advising them, and they can cry. So I think that is one of the way to discipline them emotional connection.
Hang on. Wait. That's something I don't want to miss out. This one. You said what? You just by advising they cry?
Yes.
Your daughter becomes emotional because you are advising?
Yes, it is true. Yeah.
Okay, allow me to share one. Okay, carry on. Let me how does this happen? This is something very interesting.
When you have emotional connection, right? So I will try to explain to her the good and bad about doing certain things, and what are the consequences that she may face if she does something which is not right, and then how much we have trust on her, and what will happen if she misuse the trust that we have for her, right? And then she will think about that and she will start crying. Even my son, when sometimes when you're close to your parents, I think they don't even have to beat you. When you scold you, when they scold you, or they raise their voice on you, or they advise you, that can make people cry.
Yeah, true.
But so far it worked.
So far it worked, huh? Okay, good.
It worked, yeah.
It should work. I think you know how to deal with your kids in this manner. Now I just want to share my one experience, because I run an academy where the teenage kids they spend about easily 2 to 3 years. I see them growing. They're studying there up to diploma. When I see one case, I tell you, this girl, she's very, very close with the father. This girl, a particular girl, very close with the father. One day, her classmate, one boy, came and told me that, sir, do you know that this girl, she cut her hand? She took a blade and she just slit a wrist. And then I called and asked, hey, why did you do that? I called her during the counseling sessions when I talked to her. She said, no, because I disappointed my dad. I disappointed my dad. See, what do you mean? These kids, they come from, decent family. They're not very rich family. They are B40, a bit like decent income. So this girl said she disappointed her father, and father felt bad. Something she did. Actually, she fell in love with one boy. She's still too young. She's about 17 or 18 years old. She fell in love with one boy, and the father couldn't take it, and he scolded her. And the father cried, it seems. So she couldn't take it. The father cried. She went and cut her hand. And then after a couple of days, she got better and came back. And I talked to her again and all that, how she feels and all this. Then she said, she showed me the other hand. There's several cuts in the other hand. And I couldn't believe, she did this, and I asked her, why you have to do this? Because every time my father gets hurt, I cut my head. At times, the girls especially, they're very, very emotional. I just recalled this incident because I talked to this, this when I counseled this session, it was like that. So it's girls are like that. So it's good that you with your daughter, you know how to deal with her, and she really empathizes for you when you feel bad. She disciplines herself. She knows her boundary, what she need to do, what she shouldn't be doing, and all that. This is good. So I'm just I remember this. I'm not trying to scare you. Okay, I just reminded this story only. How about you, Dr. Jack? In your case, with your boys, the discipline part.
The carrot and stick energy worked for me from very young. So there was a lot. There was a lot of rewards that were coming if they actually toed the line, but it was never difficult to impose it on them. It was never difficult for me to make them understand that they have to go to bed early because they have to get up in the morning to go to school, and therefore on Friday evening we'll go for a movie kind of thing. So it was very easy for them to actually relate to the sacrifices they have to make and the rewards that will come in later. So the carrot and stick thing probably I think worked very in a very simplified way for me. So I didn't need to be overly creative in terms of how I needed to discipline them. So they were very much understanding in the sense that they need to do something now in order to get some kind of rewards later. So I showed them very short cycle and more frequent rewards rather than a reward that will come after 5 years or 10 years. So I showed that every week there was a reward. Every week there was some kind of outings. Every week there was some kind of movies. Every week there's some kind of football watching. So that short cycle was easy for me to hold their attention, rather than to tell them if you listen to me in then 5 years time you will be happy, or 10 years time your life will improve. So I don't think they could connect that far. So the short-term goals were something
reward them instantly so that they can they change the behavior
accordingly. Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. Wow. But in your case, you told just now, short while ago, you never hit your children. I would like to hear from Sundar. In your case, they say, spare the rod, spoil the child. In my children upbringing, I whack my children. Okay, that's me. The first one, a lot, she got it from me. The second one was escaped because during that time I was a bit more matured. So the earlier one got more. So that's my time. I mean, I've already gone through that. What about you, Sundar? How you manage that anger? When definitely there will be a moment. How that moment of the volcano eruption? How did you manage that? Have you ever hit your children?
Yes, but not a lot. It's not like a hit a few times, just a smack, like just on the leg, on the shoulder. But I don't beat until take a belt or hanger and beat them until they cry. Especially the second one, I think he never had any smacking from me.
Okay.
He's very smart. He knows.
Second one always will escape. I think in your case also same.
Yeah,
we experiment with the first one first, So you hit them, but I mean not really harsh lah. Huh? Is that what you're saying, Sundar?
Yes, yeah. But that was maybe I think the last time, maybe just 2-3 years ago, when she was in primary school, I think, for one particular reason. But after that, it's just the normal, when they don't do housework or something, just like, tap on the hand, go into those kind of things, yes. But I don't whack them.
Okay, good parents. I mean, both of you, I have a very good positive comments all coming in. There's a question waiting here. Question, both of the speakers are successful your respective careers. How do you juggle the responsibility at work and towards your children? So work-life balance here. How do you manage this work-life balance? Maybe Dr. Jack, now your things will be a little bit different. What about when you started, as a single father like that with these two boys, only barely 8 years, 9 years? Maybe how it will evolve your work-life balance.
I think there's another aspect to it. It's just not work and life. It's also work, life, and the kids. Because sometimes life can be also your own personal time. Life doesn't mean that you are at home with a family. Life can also be what you want to do for your own development, what you want to do for your own, me time. So I always saw it that it was more of a triangle. It was more of a trinity rather than a balance between work and life. It was work, your own life, and then the kids. So I had to be, a bit more creative in how can I connect my life and the kids' life, because work is work. I can't take them to work, neither can I bring work to them. So that's something that I needed to deal by myself. So the balance was more in between my life and their life. Right? So when I come back home and I have time to myself, it was how much of time do I spend for myself and how much of time do I spend with them. So what happened, and also it goes back to probably the forces of nature. Maybe it was they are both boys, and we all started sharing the same kind of interests. So we went to swimming pool together. We went for movies together. We go for dinners together. We watch matches together. So I think in that sense, I was able to spend time with them while also enjoying my own personal time. But where work and family is concerned, I think that is
The
universal.
line,
Everybody will, will definitely go through the same challenge.
the line is lagging, I think.
Uh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. Like just now was lagging a bit. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we are coming back to that. You mentioned, you gave a different perspective of work-life balance. You said the kids, work, life, and kids, family, right? So of course you also have to work on your personal growth, and then at the same time you also working on your family, taking care of the family and all that. So you balanced it quite well, I would say, the last 10 years,
I hope
because
so.
of your, maybe because of your career. uh, since you're financially quite strong, I think it's manageable lah. What do you think?
I know. I think probably if you ask me now, things are a bit more stable than they were 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was. I mean, of course, 10 years ago I would have had 10 years lesser income than it is now, but the expenses were not anytime lesser, because they were in public school and in private school, and they also had other kind of needs in terms of tuition and whatnot. So in that sense, I mean, we were never struggling to that extent, but it was a tough journey for me in the first few years.
Yeah. What about thanks, Dr. Jack. What about Sundar? How do you manage that work-life balance?
For me, when we talk about work-life balance, I manage it by waking up early. So I usually
How early you wake up? How early is
when
early?
5 o'clock, 5 a.m.
Wow.
Usually I'm the
Super
first
dad.
person to wake up in the house, and I'm the last person to sleep in the house. So once I prepare the kids for school, send them to school and all, right? Actually, when I'm talking about preparing them to school, it's when like even when my daughter was much smaller, I had to bathe her, comb her hair, get her ready, and then while I do that, my wife
Dr.
would
Jack, you heard
prepare.
that? He
Yeah.
bathed her, comb her hair, pleat the hair,
Yes.
prepare her
While
to
I
school.
do while I do that, my wife would prepare breakfast and lunch for her to send to school, and then after that, sending to school, and I go to office and come back. And after come back, I will also concentrate on her school homework, and then spend some time. Sometimes when she was doing her UPSR exam in 2019, I had to sit with her until 11:30 to for her revision. So once it's done, then I go to bed, and the cycle repeats. The next day, I must wake up early morning. So that is how I managed when I was working. Now, work from home is a blessing in disguise. So I save a lot of traveling time. The time that I spend on the road to go to office and come back. So while I do my work, I can always keep an eye on them and how they do their online classes. If they have any doubt or any homework in between to do, so I'll help them out.
Okay, of course, you set a very high standard. Let me take some of the comments. Okay, dear friends, kindly share this content, because some very good tips, fatherhood tips these two gentlemen is giving now. I'm also learning a lot. Of course, to like Sundar's standard and all that, no man can ever get anywhere closer. That kind of standard, a very high standard. Okay, let me take one comment here from a friend. Okay, the comment. The line is a little bit lagging today. Okay, now let me go to the next one. What is the biggest fear you have in being a father of two boys, 18 and 19? Now you say one of your boy already, dating a girl and all that. So you're very good. Soon to be a father-in-law, I think. Very soon you will be. Okay, so what is the biggest fear, doctor?
I know. I think any parent would probably share the same sentiment. When they were younger, the fear I used to have, sometimes I used to get dreams that I've lost them in the shopping complex. They've gone missing and I can't find them. So I get up in the morning and I get so worried. hoping that nothing like that happen. So I think safety and security of the kids are the greatest concern and fear any parent will have. And even they're 19, 20 years old now. I've not, a single day thought that I don't have to worry about them anymore. So I think that worry, that fear is still in me as a parent, that they don't get harmed in any way. They're always safe and secure.
Have you ever got lost your kids anywhere? Shopping mall here and there?
No, so far no.
Wow, very good. Your boys are really good. Gem, both the boys, I think. Very lucky get them as you as a father.
I am very, very lucky.
Yeah. I mean, the way I hear you're telling such a gem, these two boys. Send my regards to both of them. Hope they might be also watching this content, I think. What about you, Sundar?
Okay, for me, having a teenage daughter, teenagers, they are very prone to be rebellious, having a very self-centered woman, very moody, So my fear is having a teenage daughter. I always have this fear of her befriending a wrong company, having some wrong friends. So, and then involving but she's in a boarding school. So now she's at home because of MCO, but otherwise she studies in Malacca. So we only get to speak to her over the phone at night. Otherwise, from morning until night, she's on her own by herself. So we don't know what happens from morning until, we only get to visit her like every weekend or 2 weeks once. So that is one of a fear that I have. And then if she doesn't have this family connection, right, eventually when she further her studies, let's say to overseas, or when she gets married, I feel maybe there'll be a disconnection because of the loss of family touch. But to overcome that, we have a very close engagement. We have open talk. From young, I always teach them the moral values, and then how to respect people, be transparent. If they have any problem, I always insist that if they have any problem, they have to come back to me. I should be, as a parent, either me or my wife should be the first person they share their problem, not to the third person, because no one else could help the child better than parents, I think.
Exactly.
So
yeah. So you maintain that kind of relationship with your daughter, so that anytime you are in trouble, come look for me, not somebody else.
Yes.
Hope that theory she respects, and then and this one go on. It's a very lengthy comment here. Let me see. Nigulan Tangaraju, he has commented here. With all the dedicated planning, upbringing, and guidance for our kids, how sure are we that the kids are prepared when they go out in the open world and expose themselves to many unplanned events and teaching in life? If they have done something wrong along the way, do we blame ourselves when things go wrong? What's your take? Oh, this is very, very good question. I think both of you can understand this question, right? Maybe doctor you can take, because this one, sometimes what happens is we set a very high expectation on our kids as parents. Sometimes they get disappointed. This is how I want to see my child grow, and this is my expectation. But when the expectation and reality, it differ. So it's different events to take place. So what is your take this kind of situation?
Yeah. I think there's a very nice statement that I've read when I was very young, and I think until today it's true. It takes a village to bring up a child. They say it takes a village to bring up a kid. So I don't think parents by themselves can take full responsibility in bringing up a child. So the work here.
Can you repeat that, doctor? Sorry for the interruption. You said it takes a village.
It takes a village to bring up a child, right? Okay. It takes a village to bring up a kid. So I would say proverb basically means that it takes beyond parents to actually educate a child. So of course there are teachers, there are other elders' influence that will be on the child. So, and the world is ever evolving. We cannot be ever perfectly prepared to face the world with kids. They are also growing, right? And at some point they will make mistakes which they should. So I think it's all right for people to go out there and try and make mistakes. But the issue here, I think, if I read the question carefully, is that do we blame ourselves? Why should we? Why should we blame ourselves? All right. So if we have done our best to our ability, whatever resources we had, whatever time that we were able to invest in the child, and if the child has done something wrong, and then I think instead of looking at it as a blame, we should then think how can we now help them in that particular situation. And because nobody better than the parents should be there whenever a child has done something wrong or the child has probably got into an awkward situation. I think instead of blaming ourselves, we should quickly go and embrace them and see how we can further help them. But I've never taken sole responsibility in bringing up my children. I think it takes a village to bring up a child. It takes many people's contributions, prayers, and blessings to bring up a child.
Very true. Very true. I agree with you. What about Sundar? What is your view on this?
I totally agree with Dr. Jagdeep. For me, yes, it's true. It's not only the parent responsibility, because the children sometimes they spend more time outside than their time at home, right? So but as parents, I think we can lead by example. We can show them how to live life. We can share our experience to them. And nowadays we see a lot of news. We read a lot of news. We can watch news on TV or YouTube or whatever, right? So we can share those things with them, and we can tell them the danger outside, the dark side of the world, because it's not rosy anytime, all the time, right? So they have to be exposed. And when Dr. Jagdeep said it's okay to make mistake, I totally agree with that. It's okay to make mistake, but we also must teach them to learn from the mistake and not keep repeating the same mistakes.
Yeah, very true. We have to learn from the mistake. Never make the same mistake again. Yeah, that's a very good thing. I think one of the gem is just responded here. One of your gems, Kabir Singh. We are lucky to have you as our dad, guardian, and best friend, Dr. Jack.
That's my eldest son. Yeah.
Okay. He's the one dating now. Okay, good. All the best, Kabir. You are blessed with a great dad. It's really a super dad, man. Such a cool person he is. Although he looks harsh outside, he's such a soft person inside that I can see. Okay. Let me see if there's any other question along here. There's few new people have just signed in. Drona have said that growth mindset is, growth mindset is on your NG, the rest of the speakers, okay, all right. Oh, okay, that's lagging earlier, I think, short while ago. All right. Now, there's one Tamil movie, maybe Dr. Jack, I don't know whether you heard about this movie or not. Abiyum Nanum, there's a movie called Abiyum Nanum. Abiyum Nanum is a very interesting story. Something like this, our Sundar as a son. I mean, I also got two daughters. The daughter, this is a Tamil family, falls in love with the Punjabi boy. And the father cannot accept this, because he has his expectations. Suddenly, she falls in love with a Punjabi boy, a different race. So now this is the intermarriage thing and all that is now becoming interracial marriages becoming a norm. So how do you, now your son is dating, how open are you to receive this kind of interracial marriage?
Whatever you have mentioned about the movie, that is the movie in my life now. So my son is not dating a Punjabi girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not allowed to give any more other details, but she's not a Punjabi girl. She is from southern India.
Oh, okay. So all right. So what about you, Sundar? How prepared are you to accept any of such thing happen in your life?
I'm open to interracial marriages actually. What I always advise my daughter is you can choose the right person. The race should not matter, but as long as you practice your religion, you don't give up your religion, you can still continue to do what you're doing now. That's perfectly okay for me, because for me choosing the right guy is more important than choosing the right race.
Yeah, very true. Well said, well said. Yeah, right guy. But her right guy can be your right guy or not. That's what we don't know.
Yeah, but she's the one who's going to live her life, right? So I don't I don't think so. I'll stand. I'll interfere her relationship.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But of
that's
course, the right advisors should go to her as a father, right?
yeah. Okay, that's a comment here. As fathers, have you said sorry? Oh, sorry to your children for mistakes you have done. My dad always practices this, and I think this value makes him the best dad. Okay, this is my daughter's comment. Have you ever when you know sometimes, yeah, I mean, parents, we overlook, we think that we are superior, we don't say sorry to our children when we make mistake. So what is in your situation? Is there any, I mean, of course, a very different relationship, Dr. Jack, with this your boys and all that. Maybe you can just share. I have just add one more question. Share with me the craziest moment with your boys. Craziest, something that you can recall. This is the crazy thing ever happened with my kids, with my boys. Something memorable. Sorry, it's an
Well,
impromptu. Maybe you can just
yeah,
recall.
probably the first question. I think I've never ever stopped myself from saying sorry to them whenever I felt that they deserved an apology from me. And when we wear the hat of a parent, sometimes we can be a little bit egoistic. But when you are a friend to your child, then it's very common for a friend to say sorry to another friend. So I think from the friendship angle, I've never ever felt inferior or difficult for me to utter the word sorry. In fact, I've said that so many times to them whenever I felt that I've done something wrong, right, or
Oh,
probably said something wrong. And the craziest moment probably is when Kabir turned 18. So we had a party together, all of us. Yeah. And
party.
adult party together. Yes, so we went to a discotheque and we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good party together. So I think that was something that was different for him. He never saw his dad partying before. So that particular moment then was, something new for him.
Oh, okay. It's a good experience you gave these boys.
I mean, I told them if there's anything they want to try, they should try it with me being around first in the most safest atmosphere and environment.
Yeah, correct. True, true. What about you, Sundar?
Yes, definitely. When there is a need to say sorry, I think it's perfectly okay to apologize for our mistakes. I've done that to my kids. And I always practice, whenever even my daughter, if she does something wrong, I will ask her to say sorry to the younger brother. Sometimes she hesitates, but it's okay to say sorry, regardless of the age.
Okay. Any funny moment that you can recall with your children? Really crazy, some crazy moment.
At this point, I can't recall anything, but I'm always like funny, with them. I play with them, tell stupid jokes, and make them laugh. So it's a daily thing.
Okay. I mean, another question is I want to ask Dr. Jack. What is that one moment with your boys now? They're 18 and 19. You started, parenting these two boys when they were 8 and 9, much very 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 small. So that one moment that something happened in your life that you don't want this thing to repeat again. There's one moment with your children that you don't want this chapter don't open again. Something with your children. But if you ask me, I would say, for me, I'm of course many times I also made mistake. I always say sorry to my kids. And my eldest one, last time I used to beat her. That one I don't want it to be repeated again. I always advise other parents and all that. That's not the way to punish our children. We brought them here, but we don't have. We claim that we are father, we can punish them, but that's not the thing to do. So I made my mistake and I repented. So in your case, anything that you do that you repent now that such thing actually happened. Dr. Jack, anything you can recall now?
I mean, nothing significant comes to my mind.
Okay, so such a perfect situation.
No,
I mean, your upbringing and all that. You
there,
did not have.
there might be some, but it doesn't come to my mind now.
Okay, okay. What about Sundar? You have anything like that?
Maybe I sometimes when something that really trigger me, I overreact in front of people, especially in front of, when I say in front of people, at the school, actually, when she was in primary school. So now I think that I should have, like, even don't show my anger or emotion. I just kept quiet, bring her to the car and started talking to her. But maybe at that point, even my face, it could show that I was angry. So I think those kind of situation I should have avoided.
Yeah, I think I
Whatever
can
happens
understand
should happen in
Yeah.
private, not
Yeah.
in public.
True. I think that is what something that we need to change. There is a question out there. What is the most valuable advice would you give to new dads? Now, I have my daughter, gave birth to a boy, and I have a father. I got two of my son-in-laws. So maybe your advice would be helpful to these two young dads, and also so many fathers out there. They're all new fathers. Probably the kids are still very, very small. Maybe what is your advice to them, Dr. Jack?
I think, as I shared earlier, you need to invest a lot of time in them. While we traditionally believe that fathers are supposed to be, busy working, and mothers, while they are also working, but it's their responsibility to bring up kids, and we are just there, to ensure that, financially the house is, stable. But I think that is no longer true. Today, a father is, as you mentioned earlier, is as equal as the mother. So you got to invest a lot of time. And it will be too late for the time when you feel that suddenly after 10, 15 years you want to do that. I think it'll be too late. Because at that point probably they don't need you anymore. At that point probably they don't see, right, a relevance of your advice and your time spending with them. To me, as fast as possible, as early as possible, invest as much time with the kids.
I want to echo this again, what Dr. Jack mentioned. For those young fathers, when my second daughter born, I was busy building my business and, traveling here and there. So I did not have much, time spending with her. So, which I regret now. So like what you said now, invest in your children. That moment will never come back again. So I think that is a very, very profound reminder again to all parents out there, all fathers, and even mothers are mostly they are attached with the children, the fathers especially. We claim that we are so busy out there, we could be just spending time with friends, but again, that quality time with the kids is very, very important. In that case, I think Sundar surpassed everybody. He spent most of his life is there with the kids only. So his standard is too high, which I'm not there to even comment, get anywhere closer. Maybe Sundar, what is your advice to these young dads?
Okay, for young dads out there, please do not be shy to show your love, to express your feelings toward your children, and you have to lead them by example. So you have to not to portray, you have to be a good example to them, because children learn from seeing, what they see, that is how they grow. So be a good example, and be friends with your kids. Try to have a friendship with your kids and get to know more about their education, get to know about their school, what they study, what is their teacher's name. Those kind of things can really help you to build a very good relationship. And don't be shy to seek support if you need, and don't stop learning. Always be there for your child. You have to make your presence felt. And one more thing I just want to mention here. Usually when people do parenting, right, there is a misconception, or it's a stereotype thing where they assume that only mothers are very much caring into children's education, and they are the one who do a lot of things. But I think we have to, the young fathers, maybe they have to change that. Fathers can also contribute, because nowadays all the ladies, they are not housewives. They are also working. They are also being professionals. So when they can go out and they can work and they can earn money for the family, I think we as men, we can also contribute in raising children's upbringing. And that won't make us men less of a man.
Thank you so much for reminding. Yeah, I think the one message I can I can just extract from what you said just now. Lifelong learning, continue to learn, be a role model. Definitely, if you are not a role model, children won't respect us. Along the way, later part, they just nothing to really be proud of my dad. So we don't want to be this kind of dad. We want our children to be proud of what we are doing and then whatever our achievement. Talking about achievement, there is a question here again with by Nigulan. Do you measure your success as a dad by the quality of the relationship or by how effective you can educate, control your child? Educate, control your child. Oh, this is a very profound question. So, what is your take? Maybe Sundar can say something on this.
I think there's no measurement for the success of being a dad. That should come naturally. How you perform your duties as a father and how well your child grow up, that will determine your success when they grow up. So it's not like what I did to my child and to measure the success.
What about Dr. Jack? You have anything to say on this question?
Yeah, I think the answer is in the question. So if you have a quality, healthy relationship, you don't have to worry about controlling, educating each other. Right. So that becomes irrelevant. I think the answer is definitely the first part of the question itself.
Yeah.
When there is a quality, right, relationship, there's no measurement. Quality sometimes there's no measurement in parenting. So when that exists, then there's no need to control.
Yeah, very true. I have one last question. We're almost coming to 1 hour time. Time passed so fast, it's almost going to be 1 hour. Last question, and it's very important question here. Why I say this is important, because I see this phenomena nowadays with kids, younger kids nowadays. What is happening is their social skills are very, very low. Kids nowadays, of course the parents and the children bonding is great, the family relationship is great, but what happens is their social skills are lacking. So what is your plan for what is your take on this? Maybe on Dr. Jack, we can start with you. This is the last question, then we can wrap up the session.
But how do we make that assessment that their social skills?
No, how I make this assessment now? You see, normally when we see the young kids and all that, they're mostly, because of the influence of social media and all that, you see them when you see the strangers, they don't even say hi to them. Even the extended family members, they don't say hi to them. But they are busy with their phone. And so this is because the phenomena, it's a lifestyle now, it's like this.
Yeah.
So this is a worrying phenomena. What do you think?
I think, but if you compare among themselves, there is a lot of interaction among the same generation. Whether it's through gadgets or whether through whatever medium, they communicate extensively. Probably just sometimes the presence of elderly people who probably misjudge them, elderly people who come in with this kind of labeling on the kids, the distance. So I think I've seen this in my younger nephews, nieces, and also kids of my friends. The only reason why they stay away from their parents, friends, or relatives which they don't really know well is because they feel that sometimes they're being judged. Sometimes they feel that they do not know where this communication may go. So, but they are definitely not lacking social skills among themselves, among their own peer group. I think they are very connected. So then we as elders must think, how can we change in order to allow them to be more socially interactive with us rather than change them to be more socially interactive with us.
So it's more of a generation gap and generation perception. Okay, yeah, probably, yeah. What about Sundar? What do you think?
I have to agree with that, because nowadays children are so much they hook to gadgets, right? One of the tips that I can give: take a drive, especially with teenagers. Take a drive with your child in the car. You go somewhere. If there is a long silence while you are driving somewhere, I think there's a lack of communication. If your child doesn't talk to you, I'm sure there's something wrong somewhere, and maybe the child doesn't talk to people outside. So the parents, common mistakes that parents do nowadays is they buy a lot of gadgets, for the kids. So rather than investing on the gadget, I think they have to invest on character building. They have to spend their time in building children's character. They have to limit it. It's okay to buy gadgets, but not to the extent of them using that for a long period of time. We have to have screen time. Some people, they have screen time at home. They have to limit. I also find it a bit difficult to control, but I think hopefully I can manage it.
Now, since you're at home, you can manage. What happens when you go to work? That's the thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a question actually was on Anand Rao. He just asked. In fact, I did not see this, but I just asked this question because gadget is actually taking over lives of our young kids, especially, not only young kids, even we get hooked on all this social media and all that. The amount of time we spend in social media. Sometimes I feel guilty. I spend too much of time in social media. Somehow you kind of like a drugs, So we are almost towards the end. I just want to thank all those followers, those who are friends and watching now, and whoever going to watch this content later on, kindly share, because a lot of valuable, parenting tips these two young gentlemen have given, and valuable in fact, and from their own personal experience, and also their view on the fatherhood. And let me see if there's anything. Have we missed out any question here? I want to thank some people who joined. We have a regular friends who follow our page. Those I just want to acknowledge those who have come here first time. Maybe Uma Devi Krishnan, thank you so much. Shivalela, thank you. Ananti, Suganti Ramanaidu, thank you. Roshanjit Kaur, thank you. She said beautiful. And then we have who else here? Anyone new here? Okay. Shri Drona Devi, just now I did mention. Okay, thank you. Nalini, thank you. She is always follow our page. Nigulan, thanks for the thought-provoking questions. Very good. Roshanjit Kaur, thank you. Okay, just thanks all of you again once again. And you two gentlemen, thank you so much for your precious 1 hour time. I learned a lot from you, and thanks for reminding. I need all this because now I'm very close with my grandchildren. So whatever I missed out during my fatherhood, I'm trying to catch up with my grandchildren now. And thanks a lot. Okay, last word. You want to say anything before we wrap up? We start off with Dr. Jack.
I think being a father is a gift from nature. So, and probably if you only believe in one life, then don't miss it. And as we spoke earlier, right, it's all about how much you give in, and that's how you get it back. So there's no investment of time, there's no investment of emotions. Then we are probably just setting up everything for our own failure.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for that precious advice. How about Sundar? What is your last words? Last advice.
Yeah, I take this opportunity firstly to thank my parents for raising me well, give me good education and discipline me. My other half, my wife, is always there for me. Last but definitely not least, my daughter and son. They are my motivation in this world. I live for them and I could die for them. Once again, thank you for this opportunity to share my experience on parenting. And I'd like to conclude with a quote. This is especially for the children. If there are children watching this quote goes as, when my father didn't have my hand, he had my back. So always remember the father.
Repeat again.
When my father didn't have my hand, he had my back. So fathers are always there to hold you back when you fall down.
Yeah. Great. Father is a strength. Okay, Pawaneswaran, I want to thank you. You just, I don't know whether you came in or just said hi. Shanti, there are a few names earlier I did mention. Thanks, Shanti, for joining, Sudan Rao and all that. Okay, thank you for that wonderful time, 1 hour well spent. I want to say happy Father's Day once again. We are still in the celebrative mood. Enjoy your fatherhood, both of you. Very
you.
soon you will be the father-in-lawhood very soon. Dr. Jack and Sundar, long way to go. Enjoy your fatherhood with your daughter and your son, and build your family such a a respectful way. Thank you once again. I want to say goodbye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I'm going to end our broadcast. Okay, so both of you can remain here. So I will end my broadcast.
As a last statement, I think.
Something. Your son is saying something. Wait.
Yeah,
Let me see. It's common to have a father, but it's rare to have a daddy. We are grateful to have an amazing daddy.
Right. So probably that was supposed to be my closing, so he did on my
Yeah,
behalf.
that's he just helping you with a quote because
Okay.
earlier Sundar said a quote, so now he has given you a quote. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Kabir
so
Singh.
much,
And
everybody.
just before we go off, happy Father's Day to all the fathers who are watching this.
Yeah. Okay. All the fathers. Prakash Rao just came in. Thanks for sharing. Happy Father's Day. Yes, Prakash. Okay. Bye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy.